and I don't have anything as fancy as saying I'm not with the Joint Chiefs of Staff or anything formal like that. I just do a little radio show. So, and Federal News Radio, in case you don't know, we're on WTOP's old frequency, 1500 AM, and we basically talk to feds about what government does. And so I spent years over at Federal Computer Week. In fact, it's a little intimidating because the guy who replaced me, I actually interviewed him on the show, and way back there, David Rapp, he's the new guy at Federal Computer Week and took my place, which you don't often interview the person who replaced you, so it's kind of an odd experience. And at Federal Computer Week, Federal News Radio, actually, we're doing we're trying to find a new campaign slogan, and somebody suggested, you give us 22 minutes and we'll bore the hell out of you. And I really think that was really what we were going for. But Mark's you've been on the show before.
I have been.
And we're going to.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
I have not.
I just met you. Give me 10 minutes. So my definition of government 2.0 is sort of built on what I think Web 2.0 is, and it's not in the end it's not really about technology. I don't think technology is the tool that we use. My definition of Web 2.0 is it just taps into the theory that all of us are smarter than each of us are individually. It gives us the wisdom of the crowds. And these are just tools, and there's all sorts of them out there that allow us to tap into that wisdom. And so it's particularly interesting, I think, for government, and the reason I've been enthused about it for quite a while now is because government does have such an opportunity. Government has so much information. And if you share that information, think of how wiser we all can be. So I think the reason I've been so particularly interested and curious about it is because I think there's so much opportunity for government, precisely because they have access to just all sorts of gobs of information. And actually, I think it's good that we have two people from DoD here, because DoD has actually been doing this for a long time. They called it network-centric operations. Network-centric operations was actually the idea that you put information out there, you make it available to soldiers, to warfighters, as soon as you have it. You still have the CIA and the intelligence community doing all their background work on it and analyzing it and figuring out what's really important. But what they found was you give warfighters, the soldiers on the front lines in the field, you give them a map, and they go and they find the piece of that map that's important to them. And they use that to make real decisions in real time, in real ways that make a difference and allow them to kill people better, which is exactly what we want them to do. And it's worked very, very effectively. So I think it's good that we have two DoD folks here talking about that, because they actually are doing the hardest part, which is changing the mindset, thinking in a different way.